Welcome back, everybody. Wow, the beach looks beautiful, doesn't it? All right, so
come to the beach.
who's looking for the next summer read? Well, we're joined by Rona Brindley. She has a selection of books that you can enjoy. Thank you so much for being here today. I really do appreciate your time.
I always love being here. It's great, and there's so much good stuff. And I know you said light summer reads, but sometimes everybody's summer read idea is different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes it's when you have the time and a lot of distractions to read a good, fat, yummy.
Yeah.
This is a fat, yummy
Whoa,
book.
that one's cool.
By the author of The Help, which was a great book and became a movie. This is The Calamity Club. It's the 1930s in Mississippi, so you get the Depression in the South. And one sister who's not doing well in her family comes to town to her supposedly wealthy sister to ask for money, and turns out she doesn't have any money either.
Oh.
And everybody's going broke, and there's an orphan and a bad place for children. And all these women come together to save each other and everyone around them to fight the bad people. So it's a great story with fantastic characters at an interesting time period in the South.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds amazing. That's a cool book.
So you'll read it fast. It's a page turner.
Okay, so let me ask you, which one of these is your favorite?
You know, you said you were going to ask me that, and that's like, you know, asking about my favorite children. But I thought about it long and hard, and I think
I can tell you my favorite child. It's Gwen.
I don't have
You only have one. Well, I could do that too. I only have one too. So, The Things We Never Say, I would have to pick.
Okay, why's that?
It's Elizabeth Strout, and she won the Pulitzer for Olive Kitteridge, who's a curmudgeonly old broad who's just, you either love her or hate her. I loved her. And this is a story about a man who's an award-winning history professor, teacher in high school, and he's got the great life with a wife and a son, and everything's wonderful, but he's very lonely. And then something happens, and he finds out this amazing secret that's like a gut punch. And the question in the story really is, should you tell everybody everything? Is honesty always the best policy, or can you protect people by lying? And do you ever really know somebody, even if you think you know them really well?
Right, because you're not inside that lockbox that is their mind.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so it's got lots of good twists and secrets, and the writing is beautiful. That's always the ticket for me.
I like that. That's very cool. Okay, so what about a surprise? So what book, you know, almost surprised you about how good it was?
Well, this one, I love Martin Clark, the Plinko Bounce, which is now in paperback. I love Martin Clark. He's a retired Virginia lawyer. I partly love him because he gave me in writing a get-out-of-jail-free card for anything below a felony in the state of Virginia. So if I get a speeding ticket, I'm good to go. I just call the judge. And this is a story about a public defender in a small town in Virginia for 17 years, and he gets this case where this man is accused of murdering a wealthy man's wife. And he confessed, he did it, and you know, but there's a typo in his arrest record that could get him off.
Whoa!
And so the question is, does he take this case and defend him and get him off, or does he like tank it and make sure that he goes to jail?
Wow.
And the way that it gets resolved in the twist is just amazingly fantastic.
That sounds
so
like
that's
cool
a great
story.
surprise.
Yeah, that's amazing. All right, so let's talk about events. What do you guys have coming up?
We have 3 events coming up. Next week we have Kevin Powers' Children of the Wild on the 11th, and he's the author of Yellow Birds, and this is a story of also in the World War I in a small town, and 2 men become very good friends, but they're both in love with the same woman.
Oh.
And they go off to war together and survive together. And what happens when they come back? The
Wow.
following week, Lost in the Summer of '69. They call this historical fiction. Me, I call it memory. It just depends on how old you are. I mean, I remember '69 in the summer of '69, and this is 3 generations of women, and Grandma's got dementia, so she just takes off looking for the music. You know? So it's a great road trip where mom and daughter are trying to find, you know, where's Grandma and where's she singing? And then on the 22nd, we have Admiral James Stavridis, this is the 3rd in a trilogy that he's co-written with Elliot Ackerman. 2034 posited a war with China. 2054 was about the effects of AI. This is a novel. And 2084 is about climate change. And they sound so apocalyptically awful, but they're really hopeful because he believes that humanity can save us.
Whoa, that sounds awesome.
It is awesome.
That sounds really cool.
And he gives a great presentation.
Oh, wow. Ms.
So something for everything.
Thank you so much for being here today. Hey, real quick, where do we find you?
We are in Beaches Town Center in the corner of 1st and Orange Street.
There you go. Thank you so very much. I love Miss Rona. Thank you so much.
Thank you
always
for coming.
have great stories. I got to go
Check
take a
them
walk.
all out. Take a walk. Go back and check out your food.
From a book fan to an actual